Hi. The last few posts that I've done, I've really talked about space and how important it is in our work. And I've used a variety of examples from music and stand-up comedy to scientists making presentations, all kinds of things. But I want to tell you a time when I wish I had paid attention to space. I think it was the first call I ever got when I went out on my own. I had just gotten out of like 2 years of intensive training in organization development, how teams work, conflict on teams, all of that stuff. And it was a department within a state government. And I got called in and they said, this one department, management doesn't get along with labor, labor doesn't get along with management, and consequently, big stuff, important stuff isn't getting done. And so we've booked a hall, we've booked the rooms, we've got the food ordered. It's going to be 2 nights, overnight. Would you like to design it and facilitate it? And I go, yeah, sure, because I just came out of 2 years of training. And so I designed what I thought was a brilliant session. I mean, just if I was in grad school, that people would go, oh, man, everybody stand up for Rick. By the way, if you know me at all, you know this is not the end of the story, right? So I designed the thing. And I get there, and the room is really small. So I want you to imagine there's a tiny stage, and I'm on the stage. And then there are seats for maybe 60 to 70 people, no tables, but it's really crowded. I mean, you can move around a little bit, but not much. You really are crowded. So we start off and we do introductions and all of that. And then you could feel the heat start to rise. And I go, okay, this is good. This is what the textbook said would happen. And people are starting to attack each other. And I would try to keep it in bounds, but still, I'm thinking, this is good stuff. And then the most amazing thing happened. They started attacking me. Mr. and Mrs. Maurer's boy, what are you doing attacking me? And it just got worse and worse. I mean, the whole focus now became on me. And mercifully, it was time for a break because fresh coffee had come in and you certainly don't want it to get cold. So we took a break. The one smart thing, maybe the only smart thing that I did leading up to that point was hire the most experienced consultant I knew to work with me. His name was Lloyd Richards. And so he didn't have a role in that first hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it was. It felt like 3 days, but it was a couple hours. And he's standing there and he said, so how do you think it's going? And I said, it's terrible. I'm being beaten about the head and neck. I feel like Kramer on that old Seinfeld show. And he goes, no, it's not going bad. I said, what are you talking? You saw it? And he said, yeah, I saw it. He said, look, tension has been building among these two groups for a long time, right? I said, oh, yeah. He said, this is the first time that all of those clouds have gotten together and they've formed into storm clouds. And when you've got storm clouds, you're going to get lightning. And that's what you're getting. And unfortunately, you're the highest point. And so when the lightning hits, man, it's boom, it's hitting you, as you suggested, like Kramer. And you got a choice. I mean, you can allow that to keep happening. I don't think they're going to like it. I think you're going to hate it. Or you could imagine you're a lightning rod instead of this old oak tree, and you allow it to go through you. And that allows you now to listen to what's going on, to be a little bit more rational and distinguish the stuff that really is meant for you and stuff that you're just happen to be the highest point and you're hearing it. That changed everything. And still, decades later, it's been a really important thing. Well, because I've been thinking about space lately, I started thinking about that event again and thought, what if during the planning phase, when I was first called in, not by the people who were actually going to be in the room, but by human resource people, as I recall, who were putting this together because they thought it was a good idea. What if during that planning meeting, I had just taken a breath? I mean, I could have just gotten up and said, hey, just let me get another cup of coffee, or taken a sip of coffee, anything to buy myself a little bit of time, go, what might I be missing? And I might go, the people here in the room are not the people who are going to be at the event. And they probably have a lot of good information to give me, but I'm not talking to the real players. And so I could say to them, hey, I'm excited about doing this. I'd really like to talk to a representative sample from both management and labor. My hunch is they would have said yes. They really were desperate for this thing. But if they had said no, I would like to have also given myself maybe another sip of coffee to sit back and say, I really can't do the work. I would love to, but I really need to hear from them because maybe hearing from them will allow me to make some tweaks in the design or include some things I hadn't thought about. And the planner would have said yes. I'm almost positive they would have said yes to that. So the rest of the meeting then went pretty well because I kept thinking about the highest point and allowed most of that to go through me. I mean, I wasn't a saint in this thing, and sometimes it would get me, but I could catch myself pretty quickly. And I've remembered that, for this is decades ago, and it's been really helpful. And what I'd like to be able to say to you is, and that changed everything. And boy, I haven't made a mistake like that since then. Well, that's just not the case. And sometimes I can get seduced. Not in creepy ways, but I can get seduced into thinking, "Oh, this is going great." I remember talking to the head of an organization and one of her chief executives, and we just had this great conversation, a couple planning conversations, and I thought, "Wow, this offsite they're going to do, this is great." Nothing really about conflict, more about where are we going to go over the next few years and all of that. So I was very, very happy about that. And once again, because it was just, I hate to say it was magical, but it was just fun. We were engaged. We were having a good time. We're really thinking about good stuff. And so I got there and everybody was on good behavior. In fact, the entire meeting was on good behavior. It was like a kabuki theater thing where everything is highly scripted. Every movement is scripted. And it wasn't until well into that I realized there was this undercurrent of tension that was a big deal. And I'm absolutely unaware of that. And in retrospect, unfortunately, it's in retrospect, I thought, I allowed myself to get involved with this conversation with these two good people. I mean, they really were nice people. They were bright people and said, this is great, but I really need to talk to the people before we get there. And they might have said, well, why? And I'll say, look, it's going to give me credibility with them probably. And also, I may hear some things that will help the design and the facilitation. And that could be really helpful. It's not going to take very much time. And we don't even have to delay the start of this. If I had done that, that could have been helpful. And I could give you other examples. And in fact, over the next few weeks, I'm going to go back to some stories I've told before and really talk about space. But I'm also going to add in something else that I've talked about. And that's the importance of blending the technical stuff, the work stuff, the plan with human beings. So it's different than saying, hey, we're going to have pizza on Friday, that kind of thing. It's like, how do I work with people effectively so they're engaged and we're working as a team? At any rate, thanks for watching this. And if you have any stories you want to tell, please, or any questions, please let me know in the chat on LinkedIn. So thanks a lot.